attention, oh boy, is that you hit on one of the most important points.
Yeah.
Attention, concentration.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things I wrote in my books that's a very contradictory statement, and I've written it in just about every one of my books, I guess. I said, even if my systems don't work, they must work.
Yeah.
Now, there's a contradictory statement,
Yeah.
but you know something? It's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Just trying to apply it forces you to pay the kind of attention without pain, without realizing that you're paying the kind of attention that you never do before.
Yeah.
I'll give you one example. But so back to what I was talking about, if I remember, was that even if my systems don't work, they must work.
Yeah.
Because listen, most of the time, I see people talking, you know, at parties I go to, mostly business meetings. I see people talking, and they're each looking over each other's shoulders, looking around the room, trying to see who's the most important, who's very important in this room.
Yeah.
Many times not realizing that maybe the most important person in the room is the person you're talking to right now.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you're not paying any attention to him.
Yeah.
You're looking over his shoulder. The main thing while I'm teaching names and faces, you know, there are different areas. You mentioned numbers before, but now I'm talking about names and faces.
Yeah.
When I say that even if my systems don't work, they must work, the first thing you have to do when I teach remembering names and faces is make the name meaningful.
Yeah.
Now, here's the point. How in the world can you make the name meaningful if you don't hear it in the first place?
Yeah.
And there's part of the problem.
Yeah.
Most people that are introduced, they're not paying attention. They don't really hear the name.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So now if you want to try to apply my systems, even if they don't work, that's the point.
Yeah.
You've got to listen, okay?
Yeah.
The next thing, after I say you've got to make the name meaningful, how in the world can you do that without paying attention to it in a way that you never have before and without pain?
Yeah.
I'll give you an example, which I've used so often because I met a Mr. Bentavania many decades ago. It's an Italian name, obviously.
Yeah.
And maybe in Italian it has meaning. But if you don't know Italian, then it doesn't do you any good.
Yeah.
It's a conglomeration of sound, in other words. So how in the world do you make that meaningful? Well, what I thought of was a bent weather vane, you know, the thing that says northeast, west, up.
Yeah.
So I thought a bent vane, but that's not the point. The point is that in order to come up with bent vane or anything, I don't care what you come up with, in order to come up with it, you had to pay attention to the name.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Yeah.
And that's why I say, even if my systems don't work, they got to work.
They still got to work.
Just by trying to do what I just told you.
Yeah.
So look at the way I've concentrated without pain, without realizing it, on the name Bentavania in order to come up with bent vein.
Yeah.
Now, the next thing I teach is, and a very important part of memory is association. I've written this so many times. The main key of memory is reminder, what I call the reminder principle. One thing reminds you of the other. Okay?
Yeah.
So now, to make that reminder principle work, I teach to pick out an outstanding feature on the person's face. Now, again, how in the world can you pick out an outstanding feature if you don't look at the face and pay attention?
Pay attention.
Again, that's the point. So you're looking at the face. Let's say you pick out the nose. It's a big nose. But you've looked at the face. Now, there are 3 steps. Number 1, make the name meaningful. In order to do that, you've listened to the name in a way you never have before.
Yeah.
Pick out an outstanding feature is the second thing. You've looked at the face with attention like you've never done before. Now, make one remind you of the other. You pick an outstanding feature, like I say, maybe the nose. I look at the face, and I visualize that Mr. Bentavania's, there's no nose there. It's a weather vane.
It's a weather vane.
I'm associating the two.
Yeah.
I'm mixing the two.
Yeah.
And you know something? People say, but Harry, that's silly. And my answer is, the sillier the better.
The sillier the better.
Yes. As long as one reminds you of the other. There's the reminder principle. That's it. That's how you remember names and faces. And that's how I remembered 1,000 people in an audience. And I've done it on the Johnny Carson show,
Yep.
the Tonight Show 24 times.
So, Harry, my daughter's name is Saraya.
Say it again.
Saraya.
Spell it. C-E-R?
No, Surraya.
Soraya.
Saraya.
Yeah.
And so, what meaning would you attach to the name
Soraya.
Saraya?
It's a ray. It's shining in my eyes.
And she's got a really nice smile. So how would you remember her?
If I saw that and I
Yeah.
see the smile in the teeth,
Yeah.
oh, that ray is coming out of the teeth. That's it. I got it. I
Now
got
you
it
got it.
because I listened to that name.